Okay, so I'm trying an experiment here with the 2-year-old asparagus plant. It's been in a bag the whole time. And I'm gonna see if this will work. The asparagus has a root system that's called a crown. And so I'm gonna take this 2-year-old plant, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spears coming up right now. And this happens to be a female. You can see the seeds that it's putting on. It doesn't make any difference if it's a male or female. It would still hold true. But I'm going to try and reproduce this 1 2-year-old plant and make it into 3 2-year-old plants. And so today is August 11th, Sunday, and we're going to try this and see how it comes. I do know the first thing I'm supposed to do is cut off the spears that are here almost to the ground, but not at the ground. So because we want to see where the spears were. And actually you can see this has had more spears than I even cut off. That have been pruned, because I just pruned this 4 weeks ago, and the spears I just cut off have grown in 4 weeks. And you can see that this crown is already starting to come out of the bottom of the bag. So what I'm going to do is open this bag up, because I want to see what the crown looks like. Oh my gosh. It is root-bound. Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not surprising. I knew it would have a lot of roots. I didn't think about it having this many after 2 years. But what we're going to do now is we're going to clean this and end up with just the root, the crown. So that's what we're going to do, is walk over here. Let me just break some of this off here. So we don't have so much to wash. So that is the asparagus crown right there. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stubbles, or I don't know what you call it, but stubbles on it. And I'm going to wash this up, and I'm going to try and cut it right in the middle to make 2 plants out of this instead of 1. So now let's go over to the water. Okay, so here's the root, the crown. I got a water hose and 2 dogs that want to play. And we're just going to rinse this off. I'm really surprised. I was just telling my friend who's holding the camera for me that I didn't really realize what the root system would look like. It's after 2 years. It's very developed, because I'm used to planting these as seeds and getting them germinated and up out of the ground in a little planting tray. And at that point, when you transplant them, it's just a little tiny root that you stick back in the ground. And after 2 years and some fertilizer and care, this is what I have left. And by the way, I use Tony's Pretty Good Fertilizer, available on Facebook. Combination of cow manure and chicken manure and 5% aloe vera. Okay, I think that's nice and clean. So, I'll clean my hands. So here's the clean crown that we just washed out. I'm not going to try it here, but I'm actually thinking I could make maybe 3 plants out of this. but since I'm experimenting, I'm just going to try and go with 2. So that's what we have. I'm just going to do it about in the middle. So there we are. I've got 2 two-year-old plants now instead of 1. I'm going to take these, use some fresh dirt. Actually, this is some good composted soil. I'm going to plant this back in. Actually, I like to turn it over here to start with. That way, over time, I can add more dirt to it and make the bag bigger. So I got 2 bags there that are half full. I'm going to put the crown. Actually, I'm going to trim some of this stuff off of it, this old growth. But the important point is this is 2 years old. Asparagus really doesn't mature until the 3rd year. And so that's what we have here now. When I transplant this, I'm going to have 2 two-year-old plants instead of just 1. I'll put this down in the dirt and kind of spread it out. Okay, so we've got them planted. We've got 2 nice new plants here. 2 new 2-year-old plants. I could have had 3. And today is August 11th, and we're gonna do a follow-up video to this in maybe a couple of weeks and see how it looks. Hopefully it's gonna work, and I can double my number of plants in a day. So today is about 3.5 weeks after we transplanted these 2. And I'd have to say it's a success. The transplant is a success. Both of them have 2 new ferns coming up that are pretty large, which implies a healthy rootstock or crown. So we're digging up 700 plants this morning that are planted in the ground. So after we dig them out of the ground with a pitchfork, this is what the crown looks like. Quite substantial. We cut it off, leaving about 5 or 6 centimeters of stubs sticking up. Now these are all new crowns that we will divide, and we're putting into bags like these. So each of these crowns gives us about 2 new plants. And I have more or less 700 of these in the ground. So that will give us a total of 1,500 plants after these are put in bags. These are all the crowns that we dug up and cut the ferns off the top. And now we're splitting the crowns into smaller pieces, and each of these will be a new plant. A new 2-year-old plant, not a new plant. A little head start here on the growth. I've been out of town for 12 days, but these were done a week ago, and you can see that they're already sending up new sprouts. The goal here is, when I'm finished, to have 4,000 new plants for my friend and neighbor Fabrice, who asked me to make them for him, and then 4,000 for myself. This is what the terraces look like with mature, healthy 2-year-old plants. You can see. And so here we are digging up the crown.